We are in Northeast Bend today, going to be touring a fantastic subdivision called Lava Ridges by Polish Homes dating back to 2004. Completion date was in the 2018 range, so it was about a 14-year project, but this subdivision is absolutely stunning. It's kind of under the radar too. A master plan development that was completed and consists of 200 plus homes in a really sought after part of Northeast Bend, one of the most affordable parts of town. So what we're gonna be doing is just touring this neighborhood, giving you guys the scoop on what the homes look like, what the neighborhood makeup is all about, talking about some of the amenities like the pool right behind me here, and what is close in proximity to this subdivision to give you a feel for what real value in the northeast section of town is all about. So if a video like this sounds like it's for you, stick around. We're jumping into this tour of Lava Ridges right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good with the bad of living in Bend and sunny Central Oregon. Yes, it's still sunny and almost 70 degrees in late October, Central Oregon. Then subscribe to our channel, tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market happenings here in Bend and Central Oregon. My name's Ryan. I've lived in Bend for over 30 years. Zach and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you looking for help with their next transaction as it relates to real estate here in Bend and Central Oregon. So whether you're looking to make that transaction a possibility in the next 9 days or 90 days, that doesn't matter to us either. Give us a call or shoot us a text and we can figure out a time to talk to see what the next course of action should be pertaining to your real estate situation. So with that being said, we're in Lava Ridges. It is a very, very under the radar but sought after subdivision here in Northeast Bend. Dates back to 2004 and it is a master plan development that is completed. So you look around and you can see these trees and you can see the landscaping and how it's really mature, whereas a lot of the newer developments in Bend, they just have much younger landscaping because they're just brand new homes and brand new subdivisions. But here, it's been around for a while. You can see the pool behind me. This is kind of a community area here, but this subdivision consists of, say, 200 or so homes, and they range anywhere between, say, townhomes at 1,450 square feet all the way up to single family homes as big as 3,500 square feet. And this side of town is one of the most affordable parts of town. And there are so many different amenities on this side of town as well, like the Pine Nursery, which is literally just a few minutes of a walk away from where I'm standing right now. We're also close to, say, Ponderosa Elementary School. We're close to a big shopping forum where Costco is, just a few minutes away. But on the north end of town, it is really accessible to just about everything Bend has to offer in just a short amount of time via car. So what we're gonna do now is hop into the car, drive around this neighborhood, and I'll just talk about the neighborhood makeup, talk about some previous sales in the last year, and give you a feel for what the real value is in this pocket of Bend. So we're gonna hop in the car right now and get this neighborhood tour of Lava Ridges started right now. As you can see here, we're driving now. We're in the car heading eastbound on Empire Avenue, getting ready to take a left into Lava Ridges, a master planned development dating back to 2004 by Polish Homes, 200 or so homes. Straight ahead there, that's where I did the intro video. That's the little common area as well as the swimming pool and the clubhouse dedicated to the homeowners of this subdivision. About 200 or so homes, so it's not huge and it's not too small, right? It's right there in the middle. It's a fantastic neighborhood right now with a little bit of maturity. You can see these trees here, especially in the fall. They're absolutely stunning. These are obviously not native trees. These were planted when the homes were under construction dating back to 2004. Most of the homes are about that age, about 20 years or maybe a little less than 20, 15 to 20 years old or so, built between, say, 2005 and 2010. And they are great. I mean, you can see here, a lot of the streets here have cul-de-sacs and little rock outcroppings at the very edge. It's just the terrain, the landscape, it gives it some character, but it also kind of limits the volume of traffic. This is a master plan community. There's not really any through streets. They're all going to be streets dedicated to those that live in the neighborhood. and that gives it a sense of value in terms of having less traffic. But look at these trees here. You can tell they're about 15 to 20 years old at the very least. They seem even older than that, but this time of year when they are starting to change colors, it's absolutely stunning. And so when you get to see neighborhoods like this in Bend, and there's not a ton of them, sure, there's plenty of neighborhoods in Bend that are older than 20 plus years, but the ideal situation for a master plan community, which is a relatively new concept, where there is a clubhouse, where there is a pool, where there is a common area, or there's parks, or there's just things and amenities that are built within the subdivision. Now there's actually commercial areas within many of the new subdivisions and master plan developments in town. They're just not very mature yet. Okay, they're beautiful homes, they're in a great location, but the foliage, the trees, the landscaping, it's so young. It doesn't give it a ton of character. Now, where we're driving now is we're on the outside part of Lava Ridges. We're going to re-enter it from the east edge. This is Purcell we're turning a right onto. That school to the left there, that's called Ponderosa Elementary. So there is a elementary school right next door to Lava Ridges, and we're entering in on Dakota Street now. This is another section of Lava Ridges, but again, it's a 200 or so home development, and the homes are absolutely fantastic. Okay, we've got homes that range anywhere between 1,450 square feet, and they go all the way up to about 3,000, or maybe even a little over 3,000 square feet. And what is sold in the last year? Well, there's been 9 homes that have sold in Lava Ridges in the last calendar year, and they range anywhere between, say, just over 1,500 square feet all the way up to just about 2,800 square feet in size. And the price points for them have been, say, between $560,000 for a sold home all the way up to $815,000. So you can get great value here in the northeast pocket of Bend. Largely the most affordable part of Bend, but there are many amenities in which people from all over Bend end up flocking to enjoy here on the east side of Bend. And that is what is interesting about Lava Ridges being located where it's at. We already talked about Ponderosa Elementary School. Now we're going to talk about the Pine Nursery, which is on the opposite side of Ponderosa Elementary School. The Pine Nursery is a 160-acre park that is dedicated to just about everything Bend has to offer and whatever is popular within Bend right now. You need an off-leash dog park, Pine Nursery's got you covered. There are multiple pickleball courts. There are multiple soccer fields, both grass and turf. There are softball fields, baseball fields. There are hiking trails. There are biking trails within there. There's a pond that might even be stocked with fish, but it is a large parcel of land, and it's the largest park in Bend right now. There's even a disc golf course for those that love to throw the disc around. So there's just about everything. It's usually a place where in the fall there are soccer games for kids, park and rec on Saturdays, and there's probably football games on Sundays, but it's just a great located park that's just on the northeast side of town, and it's right next to Lava Ridges here. So what a great amenity. You could just walk there, probably take you 5 minutes or less to really have this entire landscape at your disposal. So great location in regards to that. Now we're going to show you some of the homes that have sold here over the last year. Again, they range anywhere from, say, 1,500, just over 1,500 square feet, all the way up to just under 3,000 square feet. So if you want to get a 3,000 square foot home for a family or for a group of people for under, say, 900,000, that is a real value in Bend, especially those that are selling for in the $800,000 range. And that's the nature of the market right now, where homes are generally lasting a little bit longer on the market. The average days on market right now in Bend, average I say, is about 80 to 90 days. The median, a little bit lower. Right now in Lava Ridges, of those 9 homes that ended up selling in the last year, the median days on market for them was about 40 or 41, 42, in that range. And so that is a very telling metric that all the homes that have sold within the last year are still selling pretty darn quickly, relatively quickly. So it's a very sought after neighborhood. When homes do come on market, right now there's 3 for sale in Lava Ridges, they tend to go relatively quickly, even in the state of the market that we're in right now, where interest rates are above 6%. And just 2.5 years ago, they were at 3% or sub 3%. So you can understand just the frozen aspect of the market right now, where people are kind of paralyzed. They're stuck with their rate, which is a good problem to have for most people. But for those that want to make moves, when they see something within this subdivision, it goes relatively quickly. And so that's what's very interesting about this particular subdivision. So we've been driving around it now for a little while. You get to see what some of the makeup of this subdivision really is all about. You got the exteriors there with unique attributes. You've got interiors. We've shown you some pictures of the interiors of some of the homes that have sold over the last year, but you get a feel for this style of neighborhood where it is. A lot of it is going to be alley access garages, whereas some are not. You can see that street right there. We're back on Dakota now, and so this is going to be an alley access garage street where the front door is just going to be led with a walkway leading to a sidewalk. But this is maybe one of the newer parcels of Lava Ridges here. You can see the trees. You can always tell the age of a subdivision or part of a subdivision based off of the trees, the non-native trees that have been planted there after the homes were completed. There is an HOA in this neighborhood. It's roughly $100 a month or so. It covers front of the house landscaping. It covers snow removal. It covers common area maintenance like the pool, maybe the little parks next to the pool and the clubhouse. But now we're on a street heading eastbound, just adjacent to Lava Ridges. We're going by Ponderosa Elementary, but we're going to one of the primary entrances to the Pine Nursery, the 160-acre park that we discussed. And I just want to bring this to your attention that the real value of this subdivision is its location. It's about a 10-minute drive or less to Costco, a crazy shopping area right now. Costco is brand new in this new location, about a year old, and it's on the northwest side of town, about 10 minutes or less away. And then you're about 15 to 20 minutes maybe to downtown in the west side of town. But if you get on the parkway, it's going to be much closer in terms of time and driving distance, just because that main vein that goes from south to north in Bend is just, if it's accessible, which it is from Lava Ridges, relatively close off Empire Boulevard, or Empire Avenue, it's going to be very, very easy to get to anywhere else in Bend. But as you can see from these pictures here, we're in the Pine Nursery right now. We're going through maybe the soccer complex, the parking lot area. There are multiple turf fields over here to the right, and there are pickleball courts too that we're heading to right now. But soccer is a big deal in Bend right now, and the Pine Nursery is kind of the focal point or the hub for most of the soccer, the youth soccer activity that's happening in the Bend area right now. Now we're heading a little bit further east, and we're headed to the pickleball area, and there are dozens of courts over here. Pickleball is a huge deal in Bend, just like it is in many other areas. But what's interesting about what we're looking at right now is that the Pine Nursery is that 160-acre park that really is just a melting pot for all types of things for people that want to do any type of outdoor activity within the city limits of Bend. Now, there are talks about another one of these similar style parks going in on the southeast part of town, but that is something that's probably a couple of years away. Bend Parks and Rec owns the land. They bought it a couple of years ago, and it's actually 400 plus acres. Who knows what they're going to do with all that land, but it would be something similar to this Pine Nursery here. But this is pretty much going to wrap up today's video, the tour of Lava Ridges. And that's the goal with a video like this, is to provide context of subdivisions within the city of Bend. We're in the northeast side of Bend today, the most affordable part of Bend, and it's most cost feasible for just about anybody looking to break into home ownership. And it's also a great spot for maybe a second home or a vacation home of some kind for those that are not going to be spending 100% of their year here, but part of the year. And it's a good spot. Lava Ridges could be a good fit because the lots are relatively small. The landscaping, actually part of it is taken care of by the HOA, and then the yards themselves can be maintained with relatively little effort. And so that's a great feature for those that are looking for something that would be relatively low maintenance. My name is Ryan. I'm a licensed broker with eXp Realty. I'm so thankful that you're here watching these videos. If it's your time to reach out, please do so. It starts with you though. You got to call us, text us, set up that initial conversation, and then Zach and I, we can get on the phone with you. or do a Zoom call or a Google Meet like this, and we can figure out what the next course of action should be pertaining to your real estate needs. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next video.